Hi, my name is Brian Tafisek. I am the Minnesota Department of Transportation Project Manager for the Highway 61 Corridor Study. The information here was previously presented live at our March 7th, 2023 in-person meeting, and this is the third of 3 public meetings that we have for the study. On the map shown here, north is to the right, and it shows the extents of the study, covering Highway 61 from 4th Street south through Highway 55, Highway 316 to 36th Street. So essentially covering Highway 61 within the city of Hastings. The goal of this study is to evaluate the corridor, identifying issues, and then create a comprehensive vision to accommodate all traffic now and into the future. There's a scheduled project in 2027 that will at least improve the pavement, and this study will help us determine what else we can do to improve the corridor, make it move traffic and freight, but also reflect the community and accommodate all modes of traffic safely. On this slide, we have our project schedule. At the top is a line with 5 key parts as we advance toward that scheduled construction. Study is part of the advanced planning before we move into those other parts of scoping, preliminary design, final design, and then construction. So roughly a 5-year plan to get to construction, which seems like a long time, but lots to do in that time period. The bottom table shows the schedule for this study over the last year and change, and how we are coming close to the conclusion as we go through this meeting, and then we will move into our final report. So no construction planned for tomorrow, just a great opportunity to provide your input on our determined improvements for the corridor and what may be coming forward with that construction. On these next few slides, I'm going to talk about our earlier engagement. You can see on this one there's a picture of the roll plot and comments on there. As I mentioned, we had 2 earlier meetings, public meetings where we asked your input. The first one presented existing conditions, and we got information from the community on what worked, what didn't work, issues along Highway 61. Our second meeting presented concepts, various ways to move traffic, make improvements along the corridor. Those are still available on the website through some links, and you can see those old concepts which showed different ways to handle traffic through multiple intersections. Like I said, a lot of different options that we looked at there. So for our public engagement, we did look to meet with the community in multiple different ways. And as shown in the bullets here, door knocking, we talked with businesses and residents, had 2 public meetings, as I discussed, one in May, one in August. Our picture on this slide shows the booth that was had at Rivertown Days in 2022. And then we also met with businesses at the Chamber and Downtown Business Association meetings, as well as these online portions, which allowed people to provide comments on a map and complete surveys that helped provide a fuller picture of Highway 61 for us. On this map, we're showing the corridor again, along with key information about the existing conditions. And at the north end, the numbers in the box are the traffic volumes, so the daily traffic. And at the north end, we have 31,000 vehicles per day, and then that gradually tapers off as you head south along the corridor, with a big chunk of it heading towards Highway 316 and the remainder continuing on Highway 61. The square boxes with the smaller numbers show crashes on the corridor over a 5-year period, and there were 4 key intersections that showed the highest crashes, but in the corridor itself, there were more crashes than what we would expect on this type of roadway. The higher crash intersections were 10th Street, Highway 55, County Road 47, and then Highway 316. Along with that, between roughly Highway 55 and 17th were 7 of the 9 pedestrian and bike crashes on the corridor. So high volumes, high number of crashes, and with that pedestrian safety risk identified in kind of the middle of the corridor. On this slide, just presenting the bullet points of themes we heard from the public over our first couple meetings. Then safe pedestrian and bicycle crossings, so making sure that you can easily get from one side to the other. We heard a lot about speeds on the highway, how we could enforce it, how we could calm the traffic along. There is a lot of access or driveways along with those public intersections, and that becomes an issue not only for pedestrians who are just trying to either move north and south, but also cross the road, but also just the vehicle conflicts. A lot of movements on the highway, more conflicts means more risk for those crashes, and that plays out in the safety and the crash experience we have seen over the last 5 years. Other themes from what we heard: traffic operations, including the signals, how they are operating, the timing of them as you move up and down the corridor, how many times you hit those red lights. The Highway 316 intersection is of interest as to what we do now that we've improved Highway 316. What is the plan for that intersection to deal with the congestion there? There was discussion and a desire for sidewalks or trails at the southern end of the corridor. How do people at the south end of Hastings move along Highway 61? And then just an overall desire for improving the aesthetics, and how do we make sure that Highway 61 reflects Hastings and that you know you are in Hastings. At this time, I am going to hand it over to our consultant project manager, Tim Thoreen, and he will provide more information about the alternative that we are presenting for comment. Take it away, Tim.
Thanks, Brian. We refer to our corridor study recommendations as the funding alternative. I'll be presenting the recommended solution according to 4 distinct districts that help us break down the corridor into more manageable pieces. The first district is the downtown district, which runs from our northern project limit at 4th Street to approximately 9th Street. We also considered opportunities for improvement further north, especially considering traffic coming into this project area from the Highway 61 River Bridge immediately adjacent to our study. One of the key elements of recommendations in the downtown district is to incorporate design features of the downtown into Highway 61. So in this case, we see an opportunity to bring that colored herringbone pavement pattern and signing themes into Highway 61. We also foresee opportunities for community identifiers, similar to this example of banners in the highway corridor as shown on the right side of this slide. Perhaps the signature improvement for this downtown district is the creation of a median barrier that restricts turning movements to right in and right out only at 5th Street and 7th Street. The addition of a median should provide a traffic calming benefit for Highway 61, with slower speed encouraged by a more narrow-feeling roadway. This will also provide a safer environment for bikes and pedestrians, as the median offers a refuge for crossing Highway 61 in a 2-stage manner, allowing a pause after crossing 2 lanes and before crossing the next 2 lanes. We did consult with the fire station regarding their operations on Highway 61 and have confirmed that our proposed improvements are consistent with how they already use Highway 61. When fire trucks need to proceed north on the highway, the station uses Eddy Street to the west and accesses Highway 61 by way of the traffic signal on 4th Street. One possible improvement would be to incorporate a warning light nearby the fire station to advise motorists of the presence of emergency vehicles as they attempt to enter the highway. One recommendation we are making for the entire corridor is elimination of on-street parking on Highway 61. Given the high volume of traffic and potential visibility concerns, such as shown on this image on the slide, we believe it is a needed safety improvement. The City of Hastings is aware of the concern for lost parking. Ongoing efforts are in place to identify new off-street parking options. The Midtown District is next. Running from approximately 9th Street on the north to 16th Street on the south, the most notable location for this district is the intersection of Highway 55, along with the immediately adjacent 10th Street location just to the north. As noted in our crash data, these 2 signalized intersections had the highest number of crashes in our reporting period. Some of the key improvements we want to make in this area relate to turning movements. Of particular importance is the improvement of the southbound right turn lane from Highway 61 to Highway 55. That area is constrained by the Todd Field wall, and as a result, the existing turn lane and pedestrian sidewalk are both below standard for design. We propose to construct a new and longer right turn lane. As part of simplifying turning movements in this area, we also propose eliminating the left turn lanes on Highway 61 and closing those movements. Motorists will not be able to turn left from Highway 61 to 10th Street or into the parking lot entrance that currently is part of the Highway 55 intersection. Multiple design alternatives were considered at this location. This design that retains the two traffic signals had the best results for moving traffic and providing pedestrian crossings. In order to achieve the objectives I just described for the Highway 55 and 10th Street area, we do recommend reconstruction of the wall at Todd Field. Analysis of the wall confirmed substantial repairs are warranted. We have talked with the school district and Heritage Preservation Commission about this valued resource. Minimal impacts to the field space are expected, and we believe historic elements of the wall can be retained as part of a reconstruction project. Such an improvement would not only benefit motorists, it would also create a much more comfortable environment for pedestrians. Continuing through the corridor in this area around 12th Street, we see the opportunity to address safety concerns for pedestrians. The staggered crosswalk shown on the left is an example of a feature we envision being installed somewhere between 12th and 14th Streets. Additionally, the reduction of access at 12th Street helps us create a longer left turn lane for vehicles turning from Highway 61 to Highway 55. The current short turn lane requires cars to wait for a left turn in the through lanes, causing congestion in the corridor. Access management is an important theme for all four of the districts in our study corridor. An example is at 14th Street, where we see an opportunity to remove left turns onto Highway 61 from 14th Street. This is referred to as a three-corridor access, where safety is improved by requiring the use of the traffic signal at 15th Street for drivers looking to make a left turn onto the highway. For the corridor as a whole, we are making recommendations to limit Highway 61 access to no more than one per property. And where feasible, we encourage the use of combined access for adjacent properties, using one driveway entrance to serve both parcels. The Vermilion District runs from approximately 17th Street to 25th Street, with the Kiner Road 47 intersection being a notable location in the district. This intersection is also immediately adjacent to the Highway 61 crossing of the Vermilion River. As part of our study, we examined the age of that highway bridge and determined that it is in good condition. Any recommendations we make for this area needs to avoid impacts to that structure. At the 18th Street intersection, we proposed realignment of the side street legs so that they align directly across from each other. Currently, the misalignment creates a very large intersection that can be uncomfortable to navigate. By adding a traffic signal here, we also see an opportunity to create a safer pedestrian crossing. With the addition of a median at 19th Street, the signalized 18th Street location offers a safer entrance onto the Highway 61. Driveway closures proposed at the property east of Highway 61 also remove conflict points for bicyclists and pedestrians going to or from the Vermilion River area to the south. Continuing toward the Vermilion River, one of the features we envision adding is a new pedestrian bridge over the river. Slight changes to the Kiner Road 47 intersection are also proposed. We envision creating a new right turn lane for southbound vehicles turning onto Kiner Road 47. Currently, a curb bump out prevents that movement. We also propose a slight shift in the intersection itself. This shift will allow for a longer right turn lane to Highway 61 and also provide space for two left turn lanes moving from Kiner Road 47 to northbound Highway 61. In the area of 23rd Street, we propose improvements that have been discussed by the City of Hastings for several years. The changes shown here are consistent with what has been presented in the city's comprehensive plan. We anticipate reduction of access at 21st and 22nd Streets, making those locations right in, right out only. This change is accompanied by the creation of a back road to the east of Highway 61 and focuses on access coming at the 23rd Street intersection. This 23rd Street location becomes the central access point for crossing Highway 61 in the area and is therefore a candidate for a traffic signal. More study of that possibility will be needed to determine timing of such an improvement in the corridor. The South Town District is the southernmost part of our study area including the Highway 316 intersection and moving south to 36th Street. After examining multiple options at the Highway 316 intersection, our team determined that a full-size roundabout is the best option for this key location in the corridor. With a majority of the traffic turning to or from Highway 316, congestion will dramatically worsen in this area if nothing is done. 2 lanes are provided for the southbound movement to Highway 316, and there is adequate space for those 2 lanes to merge down to 1 lane on Highway 316. This roundabout can also accommodate pedestrian trails, an important feature given our intention of adding a trail on both sides of Highway 61 south of the intersection. Shown in the upper right, we are proposing a separated bike trail on both sides of Highway 61, with other access through this segment of the overall corridor changing very little. One exception to that is our proposed closure of the Cannon Street access. Motorists will need to access Cannon Street by way of 36th Street, where we now propose a full-size, single-lane roundabout. An example of one is shown in the lower left of this slide. This roundabout design helps address pedestrian safety concerns and also serves as a gateway feature coming into Hastings that signals to drivers they are entering a new environment and slower speeds are appropriate. Many of the improvements we've identified for the corridor will also create opportunities for enhancement of the image of Hastings. Locations such as the realigned 18th Street intersection will now have space that could potentially accommodate visual elements or pieces of art that start to create a theme through the whole corridor. As motorists experience the corridor, they will encounter common themes or imagery that provides a consistent message. This imagery helps to build a community identity.
Thank you, Tim. And now I'll wrap up with these last few slides here. First one talking about funding of the project. So if we were to move forward with everything in that 2027 construction project, we're estimating the alternative Tim just showed would be in the $15 to $17 million range. The city would like to replace utilities at the same time, which is obviously the best time to do that. That would add another $3 to $5 million to it. So total project cost, again, if we were to incorporate everything shown, would be around $20 million. The majority of that, as shown in the pie chart here, would come from MnDOT, with portions from Dakota County and Hastings expected. And then we have additional funds that we'll need to go seek. And there are federal opportunities. This project appears like it would score very well on a bunch of those grants. And so following this study, that's what we will be doing, is filling out applications and seeing if we can get the federal funds to complete this work. In terms of next steps, on the left side here, just showing some bullet points for this study in particular. We did have the in-person open house on March 7th, and this is the online version of that. Your opportunity to review and comment on the alternative presented will continue through the end of March. And we will, during this time, also continue our stakeholder outreach, talking with businesses and residents, and continuing to just discuss the plan and fine-tune as needed. Following all that, we'll get to our final report and end this part of the process. On the right side, the bullet points go beyond the study. We'll be looking for a city resolution of support. We'll move forward with funding applications as I talked, and then we'll move into the other phases, scoping and design, again, all leading towards that scheduled 2027 construction project. And with that, just like to say thank you for watching this presentation. More information is available on the website. Project staff, you can contact me about it. Kirsten Klein is our communications woman, and you can also contact her about it. Then we're available on social media and 511. So lots of opportunities to get a hold of us or to keep tabs on the project. So with that, again, I will thank you very much for watching this information, and I look forward to hearing or reading your comments.